Good morning and happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, YouTubers. What's going on? It's your girl Sunshine here. Back at you with another video. It's Friday. We're so excited. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know why my eye. I think it's my lashes. Because I'm missing some lashes over here. But I'm going to get myself together this weekend. It is what it is. Anyway, I wanted to come on here and do an updated video regarding the Darius Williams situation. Now, yesterday morning, I did a... My eye really looks... Yesterday morning, I saw a clip of Darius Cooks Williams, okay, on the Houston News, for Houston, of course, on YouTube. And he was on there crying, saying that the children in his school couldn't read. They could put together concepts, but they couldn't read or articulate whatever it is he was reading. Now, what kind of pissed me off about him doing that, because the whole video went viral. A lot of people are talking about the video, and I meant to do this last night, but I didn't. Okay. What pissed me off about the whole situation is the fact that he went on YouTube to tell everybody. Now, allegedly, it's day 2 of school. It was day 2 of school. So if that was yesterday, which was Thursday, school may have started Tuesday. So anyway, he's not a teacher. He's not a licensed teacher. He is an elective teacher. So I don't know. He probably has like a music class or something like that. He's one of those type teachers. Art class, some mess like that. Maybe a cooking class, because that's the only thing I know him from is cooking. But anyway, I wanted to know what the concept was that the children couldn't get, because he was crying and upset at the fact that seniors, so he said, seniors did not know how to read. And he was saying little black boys and brown girls, they didn't know how to read, and it was so upsetting. And he was crying and he was boo-hooing, and it kind of looked like he was at the school when he was doing all this. And I'm just wondering, and he said these are college level children. These children supposed to be in college classes, or college classes to get them ready for college. And so I did some research, of course, and then there's other people who saying that they work at the school, they know that school that Darius Cooks works at, and they're saying Darius is not licensed, which we know he's not. And they're saying he's not being honest because those children at that school are smart. And I'm like, for some reason in my spirit, I felt like he was lying. It just felt like lies to me. You're going to tell me, I want to know what the concept was. See, what he didn't tell us was what was the concept that he gave the children. What was it that he gave the children to read? And they couldn't read it, but they could talk about it to their homeboy. See, that right there, that little part right there, when he said that, he said these children can't read. They can they could gather concepts with their homeboy. Are you concerned, or are you trying to jab or clap back at some children? Some underage high schoolers. It sounds like picking to me. That's why yesterday, and I'm subscribed to his channel. Please remind me to unsubscribe to his YouTube channel, because of course he's on Facebook and everything. Now, I'm not on all those platforms for him, but I am subscribed to his YouTube channel, and I meant to unsubscribe yesterday, but I got busy and I forgot all about it. But I'm definitely going to unsubscribe today. But how you gonna, you can't, two things about this situation can't be true. You can't be concerned about how they're reading, about the fact that they can't read, and then also trying to get a little jab in there talking about, oh, but you can talk to your homeboys. I said this yesterday. We got to be very, very careful when we're sending our children in these public situations, these public schools. You have to be real careful about who your children are spending time with. Now, thankfully, these are seniors. I'm going to tell you a little story. So, my youngest daughter has always been smart, very smart, okay? Always A's or B's. This is my youngest daughter. And my oldest daughter, too. Now, my son, it's different. It's different, but he knows how to read, okay? We ain't even going to go there. But anyway, my youngest daughter, super smart, head of the class, wants to be the head of the class, loves to be the teacher pet. That's always been my youngest daughter. She gets in this one class with this teacher, and school had just started. And she's like, Mom, I don't feel like, I'm doing this right or that right. And I'm like, why is she doubting herself and doubting her work? Because this is not her. Normally, she aced everything she get. So for her to, she doesn't have bad grades. So if I see her, I don't even have to know what's going on in the classroom. But if I get a bad grade from her, about her, then I know something's not right. So she got some type of a math assignment, and I believe this was math. Yeah, it was math. She had a math assignment, and I believe she got a C on the paper. So then, of course, I was working and everything, and I was still real young, extremely a young parent. So, of course, when she's telling me stuff, it didn't catch on until I saw the grade. And I was like, hold up, what is this? Like, this is not you. What's going on? So now my spidey senses are like, hold up. Okay, now she got all my attention because I done saw something for myself. So I'm talking to my daughter about it, and she's like, well, she said, I talked to the teacher and asked her about it, and she told me that I need to just do better. And I'm like, you talk to the teacher because that's what she does, okay? My daughter at that time, at all times, she's always very concerned about her stuff. She's almost a perfectionist, right? So I speak with the teacher. I think I communicated through her through notes or something because she had a notebook. You had to communicate with the teacher through the notebook. And then my mom told me to pop up over there and go sit in class. So I go to the school, I sign in. No one knows what's going on. My daughter doesn't even know I'm showing up. I go to the class. I sit in the class. Y'all, first of all, everything about this lady was wrong. Everything. And it pissed me off so bad because one of the teachers was an older black lady. The older black lady, she reminded me of Claire Huxtable. I swear, if you're watching this and you see me and you know who I am, thank you. Thank you. But one of my daughter's teacher, she reminded me of Claire Huxtable. Just think about her, okay? She was like an angel on that floor. My daughter was in 5th grade. So anyway, I'm gonna bring her up in a little bit. But I'm sitting in the classroom, and something just is not sitting right with me about the teacher. She's telling the children to sit on the floor. Then she's telling them to get up. Then she's telling them to get back on the floor. Then she's asking questions, but she's not letting the children answer the questions. She's answering it, and then she's like picking at the children. And then, of course, I'm sitting there, and my daughter wanted to sit on the floor so she could be closer to the teacher, right? Now, this is 5th grade. This isn't kindergarten or first grade. So they should not be sitting on no damn floor. I don't care where you at. I don't do that. No, okay? And good thing I showed up to the class because I'm sitting there in the background. My daughter knows I'm there. She looks at me because she wants to get up and go sit on the floor. And I'm like, no, sit down. Because no, why are you sitting on the floor? It just didn't make sense. Okay. So anyway, so she send them back to the she asked them to come on the floor, sit on the floor. She's teaching the lecture. She telling them to go back to their chair. She asked them to come back and sit on the floor again. Then she tells them to go back and sit in their chair. Then she gives the lesson and she has them do the lesson. And she doesn't even acknowledge me. When I came in, of course, she was like, hey. And I was like, hey, I'm Cameron's mom. I wanted to, sit in the class to see what's going on with her today. And she was like, okay. I went and sat down, and that was the most she said to me. So the kids are quiet. They're doing the lesson. She went and sat down at her desk. And then she gets back up. And then she picks up the papers from each and every one of the kids. And then she tells them they have to be quiet. So they're just sitting there while she's grading the papers or whatever. Anyway, so I sit there the whole class. My intention was just to be there for just a little bit. So by the time the class is almost over with, I'm sitting there and I'm uneasy about a lot of things with this teacher because it seems like the children kept wanting to talk to her, but she kept sit down. She was asking them questions, but didn't even let them answer. And I'm thinking, well, hold up here. What the hell? How are you gonna teach a lesson and don't have the children interact with you? And I'm thinking, okay, this is why my daughter got that C, because if she needed help, you're not even answering her questions. You're not answering none of the children's questions. So if you're teaching a new lesson and you're asking them what the answer is, but you're not getting the answer from them because you turn around and start talking about something else, and then you tell them to do the assignment and then they get stuff wrong, it's because they haven't had a chance to ask questions to get understanding about the lecture that you just taught. So the class is almost over. So she walks past me as if I'm a prop on the wall or something in the chair over there. And I asked her, I said, excuse me. I said, so that lesson was today was their first day learning the lesson? She said, yes. And I was like, well, you asked them the answers and then you gave them the answers, and the children were raising their hand, sitting on the floor, they were in the chair, they were raising their hand, and you never, not one time, got an answer from any of the children. Not one of the children. And she said, oh, well, they understand. They're okay. And I'm like, no, my daughter's not okay, which is the reason I'm here, because she got a C on her paper, and I know my daughter is an overachiever. So it don't make sense to me. And then now I'm in the class, and you're teaching a new lesson. New. Just came out today. And you asking the children for answers, but you didn't even get any answers from them. So how are they supposed to communicate with you to help to get understanding so they could pass a test and things like this? And she's like, well, this we've done similar stuff to this. This is the second part of that whole thing we've been learning and everything. And I'm like, no, my real concern is my daughter got a C and my daughter doesn't get C's. So I know something's wrong. And I'm thinking it's because of the way you teaching. Like, my daughter likes to talk. She doesn't have a problem talking and communicating with the teacher. Like, that's not her. If she doesn't understand, she's going to raise her hand and say, "I don't understand. I need help with this." And then she's going to grasp it, and then she's going to come home and bring home good grades. That's just always been her. Even past that class, past that grade, okay? Always A's and B's. Always. So, always, even in high school. So, it's not, it was just that teacher. So, I'm pissed with the teacher. I'm talking to her. Now, she's ignoring me. She walks away, and I feel offended. So I wait till the children, till the bell ring, the children leave the classroom. I try to talk to her, and she tells me, "Oh, please go to the office and talk to the principal." And no, she says, "Please go to the office and talk to the office staff because I have to grade paperwork." And I was like, hold up, what? That pissed me all the way off. I go to the principal, of course. I'm highly upset. I tell the principal what's going on. She says she hears me. I tell her I want to meet with her and the teacher. And she tells me, "Okay, okay, all right, all right, you know." So I leave the school. I'm highly upset. I'm fuming at this point because the teacher not only ignored the children, she ignored my behind. Okay? And I'm trying to talk to her and tell her what I see that's wrong only because my daughter got a C. She says she doesn't understand the concept. She's crying at home. And then I come in the classroom and I understand exactly why. If every day is like this, where you're teaching a concept, but you're not even interacting with the children so they can understand, so they can gather an understanding of the assignment, then how are they going to understand the assignment? So the principal tells me, "Oh, she's from Virginia or somewhere." She tells me she's from a different state or some shit like that. Made sense. And I'm like, "What do you mean she's from a different state? What that has to do with anything?" I said, what I saw was what I saw, what I experienced. How she treated me was what I'm up here talking about. That should be just everywhere. So this principal, she definitely defended the teacher. I contacted the school board because I was that pissed at the teacher and the principal. The fact that the principal would not even meet with me and the teacher pissed me off because she told me she was going to set up an appointment with us, and then she never did. So I contacted, so a week went by, I called her. She didn't, she avoided my calls. The principal, that is, she avoided my calls. Then she contacted me back and said, "Oh, well, I don't think it's appropriate." And I said, "Oh, you don't?" So I contacted the school board. So then she calls me in for a meeting. I go in for the meeting, and she tells me that I know you're unapologetically something. And which is crazy because on my Facebook, because I was on Facebook then, I had unapologetically black on my Facebook page. And so she said, I know you're unapologetically something. And it made me think, so you think you did some research on me or something? You think like I don't know. I know that was on my Facebook page, and with her saying it, it made me feel like she was trying to say that maybe I'm race baiting or something because the teacher was white. And so I was like, and she was like, "Oh, well, you went to the school board and you didn't even give me a chance." This is the black principal. She said, "You didn't even give me a chance to handle the situation." And I said, "Well, when I asked you about the situation, you kind of blew me off and told me that everything was fine. You told me that the teacher was from a different state, as if that mattered. I told you that I'm concerned about my daughter's grades. I'm concerned about my daughter being in this class with this woman who's from a new state. I asked, has the teacher been evaluated? Have she sat in the class to see how this teacher interacts with the children. She gives an assignment. She asks questions, I guess, so she could say, I asked the questions, but then she didn't interact with the children to get answers so they could get an understanding of the new assignment that she's about to grade them on. And it's like she's trying to antagonize me and this whole unapologetically thing, because she kept saying, I know, I'm a black mother as well. And I'm like, why she keep saying stuff like that about being black? This is the principal, which is black. And so I was like, yeah, see, I'm glad I did go to the school board, because it's a lot of situations. You have to be extremely careful when you have your children in those school systems, because those teachers and times they have agendas that you don't even know about. And I'm gonna tell you another situation. Okay, so my son, thank you, Favor, I appreciate it. So my son, happy Friday to everyone. So my son was in school. This was middle school, and of course I had to go to his school and sit in his classroom or something like that, or talk to his teacher or something like that. Anyway, I talked to the teacher, and she's like, oh, like, 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 hate that I'm there because I just popped up or something. But he wasn't making a good grade, and I wanted to talk to her directly. And she acted like she had an attitude. And I was like, what the hell wrong with her? Like, what did she have an attitude about? Here I am, a parent coming to talk to my child's teacher, about what's going on with his classwork. This teacher act like she got an attitude, like she ain't got time. Anyway, this teacher allegedly, at the time, she didn't even want to be a teacher. I believe something came out because I was close to some teachers, and then it all came out that she was in school for like her master's. She thought she was better than the other teachers or something. And then one of the other teachers told me that she said she don't even want to be a teacher. She just here to make some money while she go to school and get her master's or something for something else. She doesn't even want to teach. She wants to do something else. And I was just like, wow, like these teachers, you got to be real careful about these teachers in these schools. Now, back to Darius Cooks. He's not even a licensed teacher. Okay? He is an elective teacher, which means he's like he could be possibly music, PE, or art teacher, one of those type of teachers. He's not a regular teacher, math, science, not one of those, like for primary classes. So it just makes me wonder, because he didn't tell us what concept he gave the children and they couldn't understand. He didn't even say it. So we don't know what concept that he was all boohooing and crying about all on social media, when I know that Darius Cooks is not a nice person. And I know it from watching his YouTube channels and seeing him interact at restaurants, at people at different restaurants. Because if you don't know, on YouTube, he goes to different restaurants. He reviews the food. He's very arrogant. Usually he doesn't like nothing about the food. And if he likes it, it seems like it hurts him to say he likes it. And I'm going to be honest, it seems like he likes black culture, but at the same time, he'll go to these restaurants and then he'll order these black inspired dishes, and then he'll complain about how that's all black restaurants do is have macaroni and cheese, collard greens, lamb chops, stuff like that. And it's like, well, why are you ordering that? Why are you going to those type restaurants? Like, we'll watch whatever, and I still watch them because I don't know, it's just something about him that makes me feel like, I just want to know more. But anyway, come to find out, okay? Folks have been, of course, doing research on him. A lot of people are saying that he's a scammer. that he scammed some people. Allegedly, he had a credit repair company in Atlanta, and there was supposed to be some type of settlement where maybe he got like $100,000, or it was $100,000 that he was supposed to get, but a lot of people said that they were scammed out of money and stuff. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know that. And so with him, it kind of, in this whole situation, day 2 of school starting, you're on social media crime talking about these black and brown children don't know how to read and they can't understand simple concepts. I'm thinking, he knew that he could make that go viral. I'm thinking he just used that as a viral moment, because if you cared about the children, it's only day 2. You got the whole school year. Okay, you got the whole school year to to help these children figure out whatever it is they need to figure out. So why are you now up here on social media day 2 talking about the children can't read, write, and understand simple concepts? Just crazy to me. Yeah, we do need teachers that genuinely love to teach, but he's not a licensed teacher. See, this is what I'm saying. He's not a licensed teacher, okay? Which means he is an elective teacher. But y'all need to be careful about y'all children in these schools. You have to be extremely careful. Understand what y'all children are going through. Okay, if your children are starting to act out, be careful, be mindful of what's going on. Pop up at the school. Okay, talk to the teacher, communicate with the teachers, because you have to watch these teachers a lot of times. A lot of times these children don't know how to articulate what's going on, how they're being manipulated, how they're being ignored in the class. So what I'm saying is, watch your children. When you see patterns, when things get off, and you notice, my child's acting different. Him or her is making different grades than they normally would make. Take your behind up there to that school and find out what's going on. Sit in that class and you'll see everything. That's the point I'm trying to make. Anyway, you guys, have a very, very awesome Friday. You know your girl will be back with another video real soon. Yeah. Let me unsubscribe from Darius Cook's channel, because this whole thing done pissed me off again. Done took me back down memory lane. But subscribe to my YouTube channel, you guys. Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll be back with another one soon. Peace.